Hey everyone. So right here is a locomotive that I actually got 3 weeks ago, but I've been holding off doing a review on it because I just haven't had the time to do something that takes as long as a review. And believe me, for me at least, doing a review takes a ton of takes and a lot of work. So let's just dive into this locomotive right here. Let's start with basic specs. As you can tell, this is in the Amtrak Phase 3 paint scheme. It's an MTH Protosound 3 locomotive, and it's an FP45. Now, a lot of people would notice that Amtrak actually never had FP45s. They had SDP40Fs. I believe that's what they're called. They were a passenger variant of this particular locomotive. And this locomotive, I think, was run by the Santa Fe most notably, but I think Milwaukee Road had a few of them in their later existence. I'm not too sure. But anyway, this locomotive is a real stunner, and let's just take a look at some of the features. This locomotive usually goes for about 360 US dollars, but I actually got mine for 340 because it was at a markdown and it was just on the shelf at a train store and they're just trying to sell it. I got this at, I think it was GB's Train Shop in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And, it's a great train shop. If you're up in Green Bay, going to the train museum or just up there for whatever reason, then I definitely recommend you check out that shop. The guy running it is really nice. And he has some decent deals on vintage and new stuff like this. So let's look at some of the details on this locomotive. Your first impression of the locomotive is always the front, so let's start there. Let's start with these handrails. They are very nicely applied. There's a little chain here that is metal. I believe all the stuff here at the front is metal. It's really durable, and it looks good as well, so that's 2 wins. Right here, there's a coupler right here that's an active coupler, of course, and it's not a scale coupler, I believe, but it still looks good with this, and that's all I really care about. There's a plow that you can separately apply to this. You just screw that in. I might do it actually, but I don't know. It looks pretty good without the plow, but we'll see. The black up here looks really nice. It's a satin black, I guess, and we have the caps for the sand, I believe, and handrails, and the Phase 3 stripes are applied great. The Platinum Mist, as Amtrak aficionados would call it, looks very nice on there. It's nice and shiny. And I definitely won't be weathering this locomotive because it looks great the way it is. And up here we have the horn. That horn looks great. And even though Amtrak actually never had this type of horn, it still looks good and sounds great too. Now, the number boards look great. It's very clean and it's in that sort of Amtrak font, I guess you could say. There's the green marker lights up there. That looks great. And the headlight, that's a nice bright headlight. And there's cab lighting. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually crew figures in there, which Lionel doesn't want to include. And the windows are actually open on both sides. So maybe if you want to take this thing apart and put another figure in there, you can have them waving or something. But overall, this thing looks great. Let's take a look down here at some of the finer details. Maybe you'll be able to get a better look at the builder's plate and stuff here. We have GM and EMD there. This all looks really nice, and it's all legible as well. Now, let's see, over here actually, pardon if I move the camera. We have this, the emergency fuel cutoff, and you can actually read that again. And there's a little fuel cap down there. A lot of little details that really bring this sort of thing to life. And Lionel doesn't include some of these, but MTH definitely does. So let's take a look at some more features on this locomotive. Alright, now around the back, if you're going to run this thing backwards, then you're in luck because there is a reversing headlight there that, actually lights up pretty well. It has directional lighting, all the bells and whistles. And there's a little porthole window at the back, of course. We have the numbers. And, of course, the rear coupler. And same assembly, I believe, as the one on the front for the handrails. But overall, all the detailing here looks great. There are some separately applied features like there are some handrails around doors and stuff, and there are some that are molded in like these handrails, but I don't blame them for molding these in because they're, too small to really do anything with. But let's take a look at the top. Pardon if this bit's a little shaky. I'm just holding it in my hand. But right here, we have all the vents. That's where you put the smoke fluid in. And everything looks really clean here. The paint looks great. I love how it's reflective, but it's still kind of matte. Looks very realistic. This locomotive has Protosound 3. Now, if you have not experienced Protosound 3, then I definitely recommend just taking a listen here. It's the best sound system I've ever encountered out of any of my locomotives. And Protosound 1 is great, but this is, out of the 3 different Protosound systems, this is the best. And you can control this with DCS, but I'm not going to get the DCS system. I'm just going to use it conventionally. There are a lot more features on DCS, but I'm just going to be using the transformer. So let's get started here. Power up the transformer. Let's hear that startup. I'm going to get close to the mic so you can hear me. This thing is loud. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but let's actually get this thing started. Here is the bell. And the horn. Let's get moving. I've just got a short train on there just to demonstrate, but it can pull a lot more than that. I'm going to get this thing going full blast through here, just to show you the power of this thing. Alright, let's just take this thing back, and we'll slow down. You hear that roar? That sounds really nice. Now the power down. And we're done. The power down, actually, I really like that because it sounds great. And, you know, you can just hear some splutters and stuff because it actually sounds like a real diesel locomotive that has its own faults and issues just powering down. And I appreciate that because the line-out, you know, shutdowns, they are almost non-existent pretty much. Now, this locomotive is wonderful, and if you're in the market for an Amtrak locomotive, I definitely recommend getting something like this or this exact locomotive. MTH carries a lot of other locomotives that are Amtrak or anything really, so I recommend that you buy one of these if you are in the market for that. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye!